Chapter 9. The Rabbit's Wild Brew. As Little Red Hood followed the winding forest path, the trees grew taller, the shadows deeper, and the air cooler. She hummed softly, holding her basket close, unaware that just a short distance off the trail, something absolutely ridiculous was happening. In a hidden clearing surrounded by ferns and mushrooms, the rabbits were having what could only be described as a culinary experiment. At the center stood a huge iron pot, bubbling over a small fire. Around it, a dozen rabbits rushed back and forth with the intense energy of creatures who believed they were making history. "More carrots," shouted one rabbit. "Add honey," yelled another. "Don't forget the mushrooms," cried a third, waving a paw dramatically. "Which mushrooms?" asked a nervous young rabbit. "The shiny ones, the ones that glow at night." "That seems like a bad idea." "Exactly. That's how you know it's powerful." Steam puffed out of the pot in bright rainbow colors, an alarming detail that no one seemed concerned about. A wooden stump beside the pot vibrated gently. "The stump is humming," whispered a rabbit, wide-eyed. "That means it's ready," answered the head chef, as if this were the most normal thing in the world. Animals from all around the forest gathered to watch the spectacle. Squirrels, with debris still stuck to their fur, hedgehogs, a couple of curious birds, and 2 deer who pretended they were just passing by. One by one, brave volunteers stepped forward to take a sip from the ladle. The immediate effects were dramatic. A hedgehog began reciting poetry he didn't know he knew. A bird sang 3 notes at once. One rabbit claimed he could hear colors. Another tried to hug a tree and missed completely. Little Red Hood, walking along the main path, caught a faint whiff of the brew drifting through the trees. It smelled like carrots, honey, and something strangely sparkling. "That's odd," she murmured. "Grandma definitely doesn't cook like that." But she didn't stop. She kept walking, staying focused on her mission. She had been warned not to drink anything offered by rabbits, and this seemed like exactly the kind of situation her mother had in mind. Back in the clearing, the rabbits continued their enthusiastic taste testing. A particularly excited one stood on a stump and shouted, "Success! Our greatest recipe yet!" A squirrel shook her head. "It smells like someone boiled a rainbow." The head rabbit puffed his chest proudly. Exactly, a rainbow of flavor. And as the clearing filled with chatter, humming stumps, and mildly hallucinating woodland creatures, Little Red Hood moved further down the trail, unaware that she had just passed one of the most chaotic culinary events in forest history. She also didn't notice that for a few seconds, the steam rising from the pot formed what suspiciously looked like a dancing moose. But that, fortunately, was someone else's problem.